There are basic rules which govern hospitality, whether they are written or not. One is that you wait to be invited, and secondly, you politely accept what is being offered and you ask for nothing more. In the gospel today, Jesus seems to break all the rules. For instead of waiting to be invited by Zacchaeus, Jesus himself invites himself to Zacchaeus' home, but not primarily for the purpose that Zacchaeus may provide Jesus with food and drink and a place to rest, but rather that Jesus may offer Zacchaeus forgiveness and reconciliation. The gospel then isn't about the rules of etiquette or hospitality. Indeed, the gospel is about salvation. The curious line in the passage is the first one, for it tells us that Jesus had not planned to stop anywhere in Jericho. Rather, he intended to pass through this town on his way elsewhere, probably Jerusalem. So why did Jesus change his mind? Because he saw a sinner in need of mercy, a man in need of conversion, who had already made the first move. Indeed, by climbing that sycamore tree to see Jesus, Zacchaeus had taken the first little step in the process that would bring him to conversion and thus to salvation. By the reaction of the crowd in Jericho that day, we learn that Zacchaeus is well known, but not well liked. Indeed, as a tax collector, he's a civil servant of the Romans, and no self-respecting Jew would have ever associated themselves with the business that supported the Gentile occupiers of their land. Furthermore, tax collectors in those days were notorious for exploiting the people in order to make more money for themselves. That Jesus would want to go to the home of someone like Zacchaeus must have been incredibly shocking to the bystanders that day. We can almost hear them murmuring still. Yet the words of the book of wisdom are personified in Jesus. You overlook people's sins that they may repent. For Jesus does not see in Zacchaeus merely a sinner to be shunned and avoided, but instead a child of God in need of mercy and forgiveness. We are privileged to witness Zacchaeus' firm purpose of amendment when he promises to make up for anything that he has possibly done wrong by repaying whatever he has extorted from others 4 times over and giving half of his possessions to the poor. An amendment not made as a bargain, but as a response to the incredible love and mercy that he is being shown by God through his Son, Jesus Christ. Today, at this Mass, as at every Mass, we will acknowledge that we are like Zacchaeus, that we are unworthy to have the Lord enter under our roof. In this way, like Zacchaeus, though we may be unworthy, the Lord wants to visit us anyway, and let no one say he should not. Indeed, in the Eucharist, Jesus comes to us with great mercy and love to share his divine life and his strength with us in spite of our human weakness and maybe even because of it, reminding us that the Eucharist he has left us is intended by him to be as much the medicine of mercy for sinners as it is a reward reserved for the righteous. In response to such generous love, let us make our own promises of amendment. Indeed, let us try to change our lives as we must and we should, to better reflect the same compassion with which we are being treated by Jesus himself. And even if we fail at some of our promises, let us trust that the Lord in his great love will still want to visit us, to share his very life with us. So above all, then, let us commit ourselves to avoid the same sin as the citizens of Jericho that day. Indeed, let us try to never judge others as somehow being unworthy of the same great mercy and love that we desire for ourselves, and in truth are being shown each time we come forward to receive Christ under our roof in the sacrament of the Eucharist.